Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I am your host, Chris. Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Flash, Season 1, Episode 15, entitled Out of Time. Well, guys, it's been a long 3-week break. I can't believe that they actually just had a 3-week break. I mean, it seemed like it took forever, really. I actually thought it was kind of unnecessary a little bit to actually have a 3-week break like that to try to stretch out these episodes. I mean, I just want to watch them. I want to get to where we're going. So I felt the 3-week break was kind of long, kind of drawn out, unfortunately. But we're back, at least hopefully for a few weeks anyway. Because they probably got like a handful, maybe 5, 6, 7 episodes left. So we're coming down to the end. I think I heard that the season finale will air on May 19th. So we're coming down to the end. But episode 15, Out of Time, an amazing episode. I enjoyed this episode. It felt like a season finale episode to me. It really did. So there was so much stuff going on in this episode. We got to see the brother of Clyde Martin, who was in the first episode of The Flash, was Clyde. Joe kills him. All right? His brother Mark is in this episode, out for revenge on Joe, and he is the weather wizard, if I can tongue twister. So, and Mark's a badass dude. He seems like, he's got like electricity and he can control like rain and everything and wind and make tornadoes. And you see the end of the episode with that huge tsunami that he's creating. Just a powerful dude and frightening. So much stuff happening in this episode though. So we see that, that Clyde or Mark, I should say, Mark Martin, is out for revenge on Joe, and he's trying to kill Iris at the end. And Barry was trying to create this blocking effect or whatever. He runs so fast around the city that he goes back in time. Boom, back in time. All right. And we've seen in previous episode that he's seen this mirage. It's like a time mirage or whatever. That was like his self. When he first ran, that was the self that goes back in time at the end of the episode. So it's kind of confusing. So then he sees it again at the end of the episode, the other self that was running it earlier in the episode. So it's kind of weird. But it's very cool that he sees two versions of himself, one in the past or in a different time, timeline, time stream, and then this other one that he's went back in time now. So very weird. But kind of confusing, but it's not too confusing once you understand it. But it's great that he went back in time. Okay, for one, we find out Cisco finds out and digs and finds out that Dr. Wells is actually the man in the yellow suit. And Dr. Wells gets a hint of this. He's like, they're taking me out for coffee or whatever. Caitlin's taking me out to coffee. There's something up here. And boom, he's gone from the wheelchair. She looks like, whoa, what the hell is happening? And basically he confronts Cisco, and man, he reveals that he is Eobard Thawne. Eobard Thawne, from the future, he said centuries. So he's hundreds of years. It's unreal. But he kills Cisco. Cisco knew it was coming, and there was nowhere for him to go. But we know the cat's out of the bag now. Eobard Thawne. But Barry doesn't know, because now he's went back in time, and he's reset that. He's reset all that. So he also told Iris who he was. So he showed her who he was and all this stuff. It's just unbelievable. But now, since he's reset the time, he's went back in time. none of that happened. So um, it's going to start to get very confusing, very confusing. And Erebor Thawne, it's just like, well, how did he get stuck? I mean, it's confusing for me too, of how he got stuck. And he wants Barry. He wants to harness Barry's speed and energy or whatever, so he can go back to the future, which is funny. He also says that he didn't kill. He didn't mean to kill Barry's mother. He was actually there to kill Barry, which is very interesting. So there's still that we still got to touch on too. Eventually, they're going to get back to that scene that in the past, Barry's home, his mother, all that is going to come back. You know it. So I mean, and then we got the other drama going on with Iris, and Linda Park. Those two are at odds with each other. They're both after Barry now. I mean, you can see Iris is definitely, she's hitting basically on Barry now. I mean, she's like jealous. She's jealous of Linda, is what she is. And she says that at the end, that she was, lying or whatever to herself. But, very awesome episode. It's just unreal the amount of stuff that was in this episode. We also, Eddie Thawne. Well, I mean, what's going to happen to him now? I mean, once this whole deal with Iris comes out, I mean, he was a little bit of jealousy there. I mean, what's going to happen with him? I mean, that's still up in the air, really. So if it came out, with Barry and Iris once, it'll come out again. And who knows what's going to happen then with Eddie? He's probably going to lose control and start hating on Barry, just like I've been saying. I mean, it's coming. The Mark Martin, badass dude. The awesome stuff with Erebor Thawne now, Dr. Wells. I mean, that whole mashup, that's awesome. So much cool stuff happening in this episode. I didn't really have a problem with anything at all. Yeah, guys, awesome episode. I can't. Well, I mean, they ended it. Barry goes back in time. Boom. That's end. So he's going to basically reset the timeline. So we'll see more of that in the next episode, and hopefully, he'll be able to save Joe and save Iris and save Cisco, and hopefully, that ain't going to come to any type of terrible scenario with Cisco, because I don't, he's not dead. I don't believe he's dead, even though he did the whole like through the heart, like Mortal Kombat punch or whatever through the heart. That was, but he's not dead because they reset the timeline. So it should be interesting. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff happening here. Yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I think I touched on a few points there in the episode, and I really enjoyed this episode. I'm glad that they're finally putting in time travel now. Barry's finally went back in time. He's going to get used to doing that now. He knows he's got to run like hell to be able to go back in time. Also, the one scene where they were in the car and the weather wizard is going to electrocute them with that electricity, and time slowed down, and Barry was able to see the electricity coming down in and able to grab Joe and take him out just like that. I mean, that was super fast. I mean, he slowed everything down. So very cool stuff happening. Awesome episode. I really enjoyed it. Guys, put down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Also, like and subscribe. I do appreciate that support. Glad to be back. It's I'm getting kind of rusty. I haven't been able to make any of these awesome Flash videos since the 3-week break, but hopefully we'll be back again next week with another great episode of The Flash. That's going to do it for me, guys. I am Chris for Christopher's Entertainment Blog. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.